Eu vorbesc romaneste, ca vaca and some stuff, and I bought some Vegeta. I know this was hard for most, and the thing that was really cool about Romanian people, first of all, the most giving people I met in my life sent to me from Canada never got to me.
Ui?
They sent it to it was I believe a Pentecostal church in Romania. Some experience with Tiganii. In Romania, what I did was like stepping back in time 50 years. I've still got my permis de muncă.
Permis de muncă?
Yeah, I have it still because I punched out Lucas' dad.
Dimineața, dragi prieteni, în vlogul trecut, dacă v-ați uitat, ați văzut vestul sălbatic, ați văzut cum am supraviețuit o noapte în Wayne și în cel mai bântuit hotel, dar vă spuneam atunci că data trecută când am vizitat locul ăsta am cunoscut un canadian care vorbea românește, din senin vorbea românește și ne povestea că a fost în România înainte de Revoluție. Am reușit acum să luăm legătura cu el și să-l convingem să apară puțin pe cameră să ne spună povestea lui, de ce un canadian din vestul sălbatic de aici vorbește românește. Așa că ne întâlnim la jumătate de drum. O să vină în 15-20 de minute și o să vorbim cu el, cu Rob. Dar nu o să uit niciodată cum stăteam la masă acolo în Wayne și a venit și a zis: "Oh, voi vorbiți românește?" Abia aștept să-l cunoaștem și astăzi îi aflăm povestea. Dacă n-ați văzut vlogul trecut, vă recomand, pentru că e chiar, ăla chiar trebuie văzut. Let's go! Și pentru că data trecută când am fost noi aici nu v-am arătat, uite vă arăt acum orașul ăsta, Drumheller. E orașul dinozaurilor, mamă, bate un vânt. Peste tot.
De dinos, peste tot.
Exact, sunt doar dinos și că asta ar fi capitala mondială a dinozaurilor. Aici s-au găsit o grămadă de resturi de dinozauri și dacă credeți că asta e weird, e bine, uitați-vă la asta de aici. Adică ăsta e the biggest dinosaur on earth sau ceva de genul și poți să urci acolo în gura lui. Și aici ne-am dat întâlnire cu Rob în parcare, la jumătatea drumului. Dar tot orașul e plin de dinozauri. Sunt și muzee, și un muzeu. Dacă ești Ross Geller și ești pasionat de oase, ăsta e locul tău. Hai să ne parcăm undeva. Aici lângă Tesla asta. Problema va fi alta. Că vine o mare furtună pe aici, în Badlands. Și ne-a dat întâlnire cu omul ăsta aici. Dacă mergem la un restaurant, e muzică și nu putem filma, pentru că după aia va fi dat jos video. Și aici probabil o să bată vântul. Bună dimineața!
Where do you want to go?
I don't know, but this is so windy. We have to find a quiet place.
There's Tim Hortons.
Okay?
You could go there. Do you know where that is?
Yeah. She's addicted to coffee. I know all the coffee shops in the world. She's addicted.
There's another coffee shop on the main street here. I've never been there, but I don't know if you can sit inside there or
Wherever you want. Mamă, ne-a dus la un motel.
La un motel. Badlands Motel.
94, 95.
But
It was more like it was stepping back in time 50 years. That's what it felt like.
why were you in Romania?
So I went to construct a donation center
Okay.
for orphanages.
Nice.
So it was a 1 month project.
Okay.
And I did the 1 month project, and I went back to Canada and decided, I got nothing to do, so I packed up everything I had and put it in storage and stuff I wanted to take with me and ship to Romania, and I went back to the film industry.
Okay.
And I had got totally burnt out, and I quit. And a friend of mine said, "What are you doing in April?" And I said, "I don't know why." He says, "You want to go to Romania?" And I said, "Sure."
Why not?
I didn't know what it was for, and then he told me what it was for. So he found out about this. It was in 97.
27 years. And you still remember words.
I don't know how. Phenomenon.
Dacă eu vorbesc încet, mă înțelegi?
You înțeleg. You said if I speak slow, I understand.
That's crazy. And Romanian,
Dacă tu vorbeasca roman,
te pierzi.
I'll get one word out of 20. So, because Romanians speak very fast.
Yeah, especially when they are angry, yeah.
Or drunk.
Or drunk.
So I obviously was there for 2 winters.
2 winters.
It is damn cold in Romania. It only got down to maybe minus 15.
It's different. It's different.
And it doesn't matter what you do. You are, from the time you leave your house till the time you get back home, you are cold. In Canada, like say, if you get onto a bus, you can warm up.
Ah, yeah.
Not in Romania, because the windows are all either open or broken, or
Now they're fixed.
now they're fixed.
More or less, in most of the
Took them
cities.
23 years.
Only, yeah. Yeah. I mean, in Romania, the time works different.
So we're living in Ploiesti.
Okay.
And I went down to the center downtown area, and they have their Casa Albă.
Casa Albă.
It's not really the White House, but it's their political whatever. And they were doing a rehearsal of some sort for the president or prime minister or whatever of Romania was coming to Ploiesti. So I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden this guy comes out in the street with a machine gun and screaming at me in Romanian, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? And
But you also got to Romania like in the wild years.
yeah.
Now
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's
Now you go,
shortly-
it's normal country, European Union. But in the 90s, that was a wild place.
Well, I mean, it's still very, very much communist
Yeah.
sort of ideals.
Yeah.
And, everything was still very strict, and I don't know if it's like this now, but the hot water was only on certain times of the day.
Now it's okay.
You know, so exciting things happened while I was there. The very first McDonald's in Romania opened while I was there.
Ah, you see?
I was there that day,
Okay.
and I ate McDonald's that first day. Celebrated my 30th birthday there. So we went to the expo in Bucharest, and there was a fireworks show that happened at the end of the night. So we were watching the fireworks show, and so the next morning we get up and we drive back into Bucharest. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever, you know, something's going on. And there's two Yak 52s sitting on the tarmac there. And they told me, yeah, you're going up in one of those. And I'm like,
What?
I ended up being a part of the air show over the expo, and I'm seriously flips, rolls, barrel rolls, upside down. It was a full-on 15-minute crazy air show. Most
Wait, I want to do
amazing
something like
experience in my life. It was
that. I want to do
unbelievable.
something like that at some point. By that time, a Canadian in Romania was like, I don't know, seeing, I don't know, a grizzly on the beach or something like that. Everybody was shocked, you know?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of people that were shocked. I also had some experience with Tiganii.
Ah,
So now when I first went there, so I had much longer hair because I worked in the film industry. I worked on a TV series called Kung Fu: The Legend Continues.
Okay.
Well, everybody in Romania can read and understand Kung Fu, but the legend continues means nothing to them, right? So they just see Kung Fu,
Kung Fu, yeah.
right? So when I'm walking around and I got a baseball cap on and cowboy boots and longer hair and glasses,
Wow.
everybody thought I was Chuck Norris. I'm not even kidding.
I don't judge them.
Well, I'll show you the picture. I mean, in the picture of my passport, I looked like Chuck Norris. Anyway, we were down at what's called the Russian market, and then I felt something touched my head, and I'm like, felt this thing. And next thing you know, somebody grabs my cap, and I spun around and I grabbed his arm like so fast that they thought Kung Fu, as it says that on my jacket. I scared the crap out of him because I grabbed his arm. It was a little Tiganii
Yeah.
boy.
He was trying to steal your cat.
And tried to steal my hat. It said Star Trek on it. And then my ex-wife, Raluka, she was, you shouldn't have done that. They're going to come after us now. They're going to beat us
They're gonna
up.
be more now.
Yeah, and there was about 6 of them. They all stood there looking at me, and I just kept walking. They didn't do anything. And they're like, oh, you should leave. So that was my experience with gypsies.
But I'm still shocked how you could learn our language, which is so difficult. Less than 2 years.
Yes. So my really good friend, Virgil Riban,
Virgil.
hopefully he'll maybe see this. I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? He has a locksmith shop. And about my second week there and wandering around in the Hala, in the central area, that's where his shop was. So I went in thinking, well, maybe he speaks English. So I went in and guess what? He spoke English. Pretty bad English, but he spoke English. So we started talking and getting along. And then I ended up, after that, I spent more time at the lock shop than I did at the donation center. I'm supposed to be working building the donation center, but I was having more
You're
fun.
hanging out with Virgil over there.
Yeah, and
What's the name? The shop, how we call this shop?
Lakatush.
Lakatush, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Lakatush.
Being at the shop almost every day, he says, I gotta go pick something up. I'll be back in about an hour. So he leaves me at the shop. I'm over myself,
Alone,
alone,
without
Nobody there.
speaking Romanian.
No, and there's this other guy that works there. I don't know if he was related or not. His name's Vatika, and he's the watch repair guy. So he did locksmithing and watch repair at this shop.
Okay.
And Vatika would come in 2-3 times a week, and he would like old school watch repair, like down to making these minuscule little
With the
screws. Oh,
thing on
yeah,
his
but
eye.
he would make the screws. I'm like, this is nuts. I'd
They
never
still
s-
exist.
Yeah. So, but Vatika spoke no English. But him and I got along great. We talked to each other all day long. I guarantee you, neither of us knew what the other one was saying, but
But
we
it
had
was
great
good time.
conversation. Great conversation. So it started out, he'd leave for an hour. I'm all by myself. People would come in and want a key cut. And I'm like, writing numbers, drawing pictures, sign language, and
That's how you learn when you really need it.
yeah. But yeah, it has to be how I learned. But I don't remember like learning. You know what I mean?
It just happened. Yeah.
It just happened. Yeah, and I had met Raluca.
Should we talk about it?
Oh, that's fine.
This is not Raluca.
I know.
This is Colleen.
I know. That's why I asked.
My current and
she's
real.
Raluca, yeah. I hope we don't.
Hopefully she never sees it, but she's much nicer than.
Okay, I hope she doesn't follow us. And if she does, well.
Oh well, if she does,
It is what it
She
is.
has a good life. He brought her here. She has a
Yeah,
good life.
Oh yeah, she lives here now.
So when I brought her here, it was actually the fastest immigration of a Romanian to Canada ever.
Okay.
From the time I started the process till she was in Canada was 4 months.
So the timeline is like this: you get to Romania to do the orphanage. At the end,
Well, so I met Raluca
Okay.
my second day there because we would stay at people's houses. Like we didn't stay at a hotel, right? So people sponsored us to stay at their home. Well, I was staying at Raluca's home. So she was also my translator. So she was glued to my hip. 'Cause
yeah.
I didn't
You
know how
want
to
it
say
or not,
nothing.
she will be with you.
Yeah, because she could speak English perfectly. It just was one of those things, I guess, and experience of whatever.
And what made you decide that it's time to come back to Canada?
Okay, so
It looks like I hit the good question.
what I had said through this Christian Children's Fund and everything, I was going to go back to Romania, and I was going to work with young people at some of the churches and everything there. So I was getting funding from some people in Canada,
Okay.
which was fine, and I still had money too, so I wasn't too concerned. But it ended up that the funding that was sent to me from Canada never got to me.
Oui.
They sent it to it was I believe a Pentecostal church in Romania, and the pastor got the money,
I know the end of this story.
never sent it to me, never gave it to me, and then he would say, "Oh no, I didn't get any money." Now I found out later on that this particular pastor, prior to the revolution, worked for the army, and he was an infiltrator
Oh yeah.
of Christian churches to throw people in jail. That's what he did.
Securist. Yeah. Snitcher, that's how you call
Snitch,
it?
yeah.
The legend says I was one of two people.
So
the chances were very high.
So I never got the money. So I was using my own money. And, as time goes on, I mean, it's cheap to live in Romania, but it's not cheap to live in Romania as a Canadian. I tried to live like a Canadian while I was
In
there.
Romania.
In Romania. Because what opened in Ploiesti while I was there was the Canadian store.
Somebody in the comments tell me if that exists still. I want to know
I
if
don't know if it's
this
still-
shop still exists.
So and there was
For
no money.
20
right?
years. Yeah, nobody knew
people
how to-
were
what to
angry
do.
there. They were angry because before the revolution, they had no money, but they had everything they needed. They could get the food
Exactly.
they wanted and everything else.
Exactly.
After the revolution, they could get anything they wanted.
But we didn't know
couldn't
how.
afford it. When I was living there, the average income was about 200 Canadian a month. Right.
Yeah.
So
Probably, yeah.
and like an apartment rent was like $80 a month or whatever, and then your utilities and everything
Yeah, and
else.
that was for you because most of the people, they had the house, the government gave them house.
I know this was hard for most, and the thing that was really cool about Romanian people, first of all, the most giving people I met in my life,
Yeah,
they
that's
would
true.
have given their shirt off the back to me.
Even if they don't have, yeah, that's true. That
They
still
didn't
happens.
have.
Yeah.
They didn't have. They still did it. Like, so there was probably about 30 of us that went there for this construction bill, right? And 30 different families where all the people are staying at. These people couldn't afford it. They're feeding these people the best of their like chicken and bread every day and all this stuff. And then when these people left and went back to Canada, the people that behind were in Romania suffered.
Tell me what was the worst and the best thing about Romania?
I don't know that I can say a worse because I didn't feel that anything. I mean, it was different, not worse. Going to Romania when I did was like stepping back in time 50 years. There was horse-drawn cars everywhere. Not horse-drawn carriages, horse-drawn cars. Like Dacias hooked up to horses with straw or hay piled on top of the dacha 25 feet in the air, and a guy sitting up on top of that.
I haven't
with the
seen
reins.
that. I've lost a lot of history.
Oh
of my
my. Yeah, oh, it was great. Yes. In Ploiesti, all over the place. All over the place. And you know,
I can't wait for the people from Ploiesti to listen about this story.
okay, one time, because I mean, I didn't have a car there, so I took the bus wherever I went. So I spent a lot of time on
communist
Romanian
buses.
Yeah, the Romanian buses and everything, which are they're old. Anyway, so I was on the bus once, and I heard this commotion coming from the front of the bus. I'm sitting in the back. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And this woman comes on. She's got a huge live turkey, and she's bringing it on the bus.
Like in Cuba,
The
those
good old
days.
times, yeah.
It was, I guess, kind of a shock for me to see. Like we went to Sanaya
Yes,
and to the Pelesh there,
yes.
and the guards, they're all carrying machine guns. Like that doesn't exist in Canada.
We don't have it either anymore.
Well, maybe not, but then it was everywhere.
Not now.
There
We
was
don't have
there was police and military walking the streets of Ploiesti regularly with machine guns, you know, and it was just normal, you know.
Hearing your stories, because I'm young, I mean, I was born in 91, so I haven't
too
really
young.
lived all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm happy how Romania changed. I mean, from what you're telling and what it is now, it's good.
And
It's pretty good.
there was a lot of crooked police then. So I was using Virgil's car, and I had to drive Ploiesti Brasov. It was close to there though. I had these police little stations like all along highways and stuff. Police officer pulled me over, and he comes up to the car and he's speaking Romanian to me, and I'm like, I don't understand. Did I understand that at that time? Yeah. He was asking for money.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I don't
Like
gonna
bribe.
give me a big ticket or take the car and everything. This is what he's telling me. So finally he got mad and he said, fine, go.
He was like, I will get somewhere else, somebody else.
But they're very corrupt back then. So,
Yeah,
so
they were
I felt a little worried then because, you know, if they wanted to be a jerk, they could.
They could, yeah.
You know, one of the things that I guess bothered me the most was to see the abuse of kids and wives.
Oh, yeah. But
So where I was living with my ex's family was in an apartment block. Then across the street was another apartment block. And I remember one night we were out on the balcony, and right across from us, there was a guy that was beating, I'm assuming his wife, with a stool. And I was so angry, I wanted to go over there. And Lily, my ex-mother-in-law, was like, no, you can't go over there. And I was so angry. And I saw stuff like that on a regular basis.
this happened, it's a very Balkanic, East European thing, this with the wives, and yeah. It's changing now, hopefully.
Yeah, it's so there
But,
was
yeah.
there was lots of things. The city was quite dirty.
I don't know how it's Ploiesti now, but
I mean, their idea of street cleaners was usually gypsies with these
Yeah.
brooms made out of sticks,
and probably they got fined and they were put there to.
maybe.
Not-
And there's garbage chutes, so you go and dump your garbage down the
Yeah.
garbage, not in a bag. You just
yeah.
take the thing and
yeah,
dump the
yeah.
garbage, and it goes down into a room in the bottom of the apartment building. So once or twice a week, the garbage men would come along, and their truck would park up on the street, and then it's a little down ramp into this room. And they would go down there with baskets and shovel the garbage into the baskets, carry it up and dump it in the truck. So disgusting.
Yeah.
Smelled so bad. It was just, and garbage bags were not a thing.
No. Everybody just has this, like
just
this
sort of
bucket and
a metal bucket.
Yeah.
Everything, food scraps, everything goes in there.
throw it inside. Yeah. How would you understand with your mother-in-law in Romanian?
Well, now she speaks English because she's here too.
She's here too.
Yes, I
Okay,
got-
let's jump forward. How they got here?
So,
Just like a side note.
so I got married in '95 before I left Romania. So I had a Romanian wedding.
Like a real one.
A real,
Drinking and the money and everything.
well, not so much the money. We went to a restaurant. I can't remember anyway. It was a big feast, and Virgil paid for everything. You know, like I was like a second son to this guy.
Nice.
So Jackson, I mean, long hair, my face. I'll have to show you. I've still got my permis de munca.
Permis de munca.
Yeah, I have it still with my picture on it, and seriously, I look like Michael Jackson.
You have to send me that.
I'll send you a
You
picture.
have to.
So I divorced from my ex in 2002,
So
and
you've been together for
we were together for 7 years.
7 years. Okay.
So, and that's when I was no longer a necessity. You know, I wasn't needed anymore.
So basically, she wanted you to immigrate to Canada.
I believe. I don't have physical proof that that's what it was, but
But
that's what I
that's what you
believe.
think. Okay.
Yes, believe. And 4 months later, she was here. And then it was always talked about bringing her mother and her brother here. But she didn't want to do that until we owned a house. So in 2001, I built a house, right? And, you know, got all that done and you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. 2002, Luca's like, I want a divorce. Well, it was actually 2 months after her mother got here with her brother, right? So,
Yeah.
and I knew something was going on. She's with a guy now that he's a Polish guy, and you know, it just I wasn't the forever guy. I was just the transportation guy, you know.
But it's
get
good
me
that
to
you're,
Canada.
as you said before, and you said also, you don't.
I'm not angry about
Yeah,
it.
you're not angry.
So Raluca's mother, her name's Lily. I still call her mom. Every year since 2002, I get a message from her, happy birthday on my birthday. So my birthday was like last weekend, and I got a message, happy birthday, Rob. You
And a
know?
phone call from Bebe.
And actually, yeah, so my ex's sister's husband,
Okay.
his name is Bebe. Well, his name's Janusz, but
Yes.
Bebe is what he goes by. He phoned me from Romania to wish me happy birthday. I mean,
At least
you know, so,
you said you are retired or
yeah. So
whatever. If somebody, I don't know, propose you a trip to Romania, will you go back now to see how it changed?
if I could afford it, yeah.
Except the family.
Kind of
of-
Virgil. I've talked to him a couple times. His daughter, Teodora.
You know if he still own the business? over
No,
there?
I'm not sure. I'm not
You
sure. I
remember the
talked to
name of
him-
the place?
I'm not even sure the name of the place. I just remember Lakatushin and K. Yeah, his name's Virgil Hriban in Brasa,
nice.
which was my first introduction to what they called it wine, but it wasn't wine. It was like it was like cherry suica. It was like
Vișinată.
The
Vision is thick.
yes.
it's thick, and you only drink a little,
Sweet.
and it burns your mouth.
Yeah,
That's like
that's it.
you could light this stuff on fire, guaranteed. If you ran out of gas, that or suica, you can pour in your gas tank, it will run. Guaranteed. That suica is, oh my goodness, I tried a sip of that once, and I think it cleared out my sinuses.
Oh yeah.
Check and see. I mean, if you go back there, you know, go and try and find
Maybe we find
Virgil.
him. Right, for sure we have people that lives there and they will
Yeah.
tell us if it's still open or not.
Yeah, and then tell them to pass this along. Hey, Virgil, if you see this,
May-
doing good. What do you think? You never seen this before?
What was the best part?
The hospitality of the people, they were great. No.
Yeah, people
The
are-
air show for me was the highlight of my life. I mean, that
Oh
was
yeah, they
like
put you up there.
never in my life did I ever think I would experience something like that. Just the whole experience as a whole, and then ultimately learning a new language. I don't know how I learned it, but you know, to do that,
Mâncarea ta preferată?
work. Say it again, Munka.
Mâncarea ta preferată?
I'm not sure what that is. Oh, food.
Yeah.
Absolute favorite things in life now, period, is meat. I cannot get enough. If I could eat it daily, I would. When I was living there, I had meat almost every day because in Romania, then
Yeah.
meat vendors on the side of the street
They
were
were
like a hot
everywhere,
dog
yeah.
vendor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they were everywhere,
They'd give you like 2 or 3 pieces of meat, a hunk of bread, and some mustard,
And
for like
mustard and done.
50 cents.
Yeah.
I'd eat
That
that
was
all
the
day
cheapest
long.
food and it was fast.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good. There also used to be a store in Calgary called Maria's Market. It was owned by Romanian people. It closed a couple of years ago. I used to go there on a regular basis and buy meat. Right? I would go and I'd buy like 2 kilograms of the meat, all mixed up, all the spices and prepared.
Yeah.
I'd take them home. I'd form them myself, you know, me
Okay.
making Romanian meat by hand, and then I would barbecue them because you can't. They got to be barbecued.
But
They
I
gotta
want,
be barbecued.
I want to think that you can only get that taste in Romania.
Uh-uh.
Doesn't matter where you buy it.
I made them into the air fryer last week and they were.
I don't think so.
I've never done them in air fryer. I got to tell you, you know, I'm now a connoisseur of
Okay.
meat.
Okay.
You know, I mean, because I probably ate more meat when I was in Romania than most Romanians. Guaranteed. I guarantee you. So I know how meat tastes and smells. Guaranteed.
When I visit Canada will be next year.
Yeah.
You will invite us to your place and you'll do meat for us.
And potato salad.
Salad.
Nice.
Salad de boeuf.
Salad.
So, and that's another favorite of mine. Whenever I have meat, I gotta have salata de boeuf.
Now I have the reason to come back.
Salmale, what's that? That's
Cabbage.
no, cabbage rolls. Salmale's
Sarmale.
cabbage rolls, right? I didn't like
Yeah,
those so much.
those words.
And mitete, not so much. It's similar to meats, but not, that's the patties.
Yeah.
I didn't like those as much. It's gotta be meat.
Meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things I didn't like there was, I think it was like, I don't know, it was pork belly or cow belly soup.
Ciorba de burtă.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ciorba de burtă. It's either you love it or hate it. That's
This
song.
was Virgil's favorite.
You know?
And I think he would eat it more in front of me because he'd know how much it
Yeah,
bothered
you know
me.
you hated it.
Ciorba de burtă.
Actually, until my 20s, couldn't even see it, and after I started trying it, and it's okay, I eat it. Yeah.
It was so disgusting. So I worked with the youth group there, and what I did because of my experience in the film industry, we did a full-length production play for Christmas about the birth of Christ, right? So, and the youth I was working with was anywhere from probably 17 to 28, so that group. And we built all of the sets for the play. The students or the kids made all of the costumes, and I wasn't really the director. Raluca was, because they all spoke Romanian. And so I would talk to Raluca about what needed to happen, and she would do it. So she was the director. You know, as much as she, I wasn't. If she didn't like the way I was doing something, she'd just tell them to do whatever she wanted them to do, and that's the way it was. Anyway, we ended up working on this play for quite some time. I rented a hall to be able to rehearse and everything else, and then at Christmas time, we ended up doing the play at the largest theater in Ploiesti. So I had to rent it for a night, which was because I'm a foreigner, because there's two different prices. You got the Romanian price and you got the foreigner price. So I had to pay the foreigner price, which was very expensive, but I didn't want to not do it because of that. And I actually used the last of my money that I had to pay for that play, and then with no money coming from Canada, I ended up being a Romanian. I was living on the wages that I got paid by Virgil. I was no longer living at Raluca's parents' place because I punched out Raluca's dad.
You should have started from this.
So
This was the point of starting.
he drank a lot, and he was very abusive. And I was standing behind Raluca, and he was drunk and he was angry, and he had the phone in his hand. He went to hit her with the phone, and then I went poof, and I knocked him out, and he fell to the ground, and his ear was bleeding. And then we left. Everybody left because we knew when he got up, it was going to be a nightmare. So we decided we're going to go to the police, right? Which was a waste of time.
Yeah.
So we went to the police, told them what happened, and then they came back to the house with us, and he wasn't there, right? He I think he knew. Anyway, I got kicked out. It's like,
What a
get out of
surprise! I wouldn't expect this to happen.
So
Such a surprise.
one of the youth from the group of kids, their family owned an apartment in the south of Ploiesti that they rented it to me for $80 a month.
$80 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, I got about 200 Canadian a month. So I paid rent, and then I had to pay for electricity and whatever that, and then my bus pass and all that stuff. I ended up at the end of a month, I maybe had $15 to $20 Canadian left for whatever else. It was like, to live as a Romanian, it's not easy. It was very much an experience. So I'm living by myself in an apartment in a place that's not my country and don't know anything. I went and bought some stuff, like I got some pasta and some stuff, and I bought some vegeta.
Vegeta.
So I was going to make myself some soup. So I figured this is just like our chicken noodle soup mix at home. So I opened up the pack of vegeta and I dumped it in the bowl, and I made soup, and then I went to take a, oh my.
The whole thing.
I didn't know how to read Romanian where it says use a teaspoon, so I just put the whole thing in there. How I ended up getting back to Canada, I actually I phoned everybody that I could think of to help, to get money to me. The church that I was dealing with back in Canada, they said, nope, no more money, you can't send it. So abandoned by them. This is what turned me, I used to go to church, not anymore. Churches are just corrupt. Anyway, so especially the ones there, and now I found that the Canadian ones they're just as bad. So I have no interest in church. Anyway, so they wouldn't help. And then I even went as far as the very first church I ever attended in my life when I was 18 years old. The pastor of that church was an evangelist that traveled around the world. I got a hold of him because he was in Hungary, and I figured, well, maybe he'll help. No, he wouldn't help either. Ended up making arrangements. I was supposed to go meet this guy who's a missionary. I was going to meet him in Cluj-Napoca. So I took the train there, which is another experience I got to tell you about. So I was supposed to meet this guy in Cluj-Napoca. Well, he didn't show up. So I was at this restaurant, and I heard this family or couple at another table. They were trying to order breakfast, but they didn't speak Romanian. So I went over and I said, can I help you guys? I can help you order. They said, sure, yeah. So I helped them order breakfast, and it turns out they're reporters that were traveling around, doing a kind of a docu-series about, Romania was part of it. And they said, if you're still stuck in Romania, I told them, because I got no money, I can't get out of here. If you're still stuck in Romania, when we get back to the States in July, give us a call and we'll help you out. They sent me the money for the plane ticket to get me home. So that's how I got it.
Where they were from?
I don't even remember.
But they were
They're American.
American.
Yeah. So if it wouldn't be for them, I'd probably still be in Romania.
That was lucky.
It was. I was stuck. Like nobody would help.
Imagine like 25 years later trying to get out of the country.
So,
You liked our trains?
Oh,
I mean, if you
goodness.
miss them, they're still exactly the same.
I traveled from Ploiesti to, I can't remember. I'll think of it at some point and I'll let you know what it was. Anyway, so it was quite a long trip. It was like more than 12 hours total on the train because there was lots of stops. For a sleeping car, I figured it'd be great. I can lay down. The train's this way, the beds are this way. So when you sleep on the bed, the train goes like this. So head, feet against the wall. The whole trip. Oh, I'll fall off the bed. Unfortunately, my bed was on the front side, so when he stopped, I just rolled against the wall. So I was okay with that one. Oradea.
Oradea.
Yeah, that's where I went to.
That's right now is the nicest city of.
Is it?
It is.
So I went to Arad and Oradea.
I want to show you a picture of Oradea right now,
Oh, okay.
and you will be pretty shocked.
It was so nice even when I was there. They had all these like ponds in this park, and there were lily pads and thousands of frogs, and there was a little tiny church that was there. It was very picturesque, very nice. Wow. I don't remember
like a
any of
royal
that.
city. I mean, it wasn't like that, right?
No, not even close. Did not look like that then.
Yeah.
I also was in Ceausescu's palace.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We couldn't go
You
inside.
was lucky then.
You were lucky.
Yeah, no, I was inside. Biggest building I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, that thing was huge. I remember the first time I was in Bucharest and walking around, there's still bullet holes in the buildings.
Yeah.
Right? So and that's something that as a Canadian, we can't even wrap our head around.
Yeah.
Because we've never experienced war here. So they didn't speak about Ceausescu so much. They spoke more about things that they've experienced since then, like bubblegum for the very first time. They didn't know what bubblegum was.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have it before the revolution. And then a lot of times it was disappointment with, now not being able to afford things. Everything got so much more expensive and money was so much less.
Yes.
So lineups for bread, constantly.
Lining, yeah.
Constantly. I'd never experienced lineups for food before. I did there.
If you want to do it, you can go to Cuba now. They still do it
Still lineups for
for everything.
really.
That was crazy. Now in Romania.
Nu știu. Putin, poate? Eu vorbesc romanești ca o vacă.
E incredibil.
Eu pot vorbesc românești, dar nu tot.
Nu tot. Încet.
Încet. Dacă încet, poate înțeleg 70-80%.
Dar ai învățat repede, în doar 2 ani.
Da.
Da.
Nu știu.
Și aveai cu cine să vorbești engleză în Ploiești?
Did I find people who spoke English?
That's it.
Just Raluca and Virgil. There wasn't many other people that spoke English. I mean, my conversations were mainly with Virgil. Well worth it though. You know, and then I get to meet people like this because I'm so damn nosy and forward. They say, "Are you speaking Romanian?"
Everybody will know this. Noi vrem să-ți mulțumim că ai apărut aici și ți-ai rupt din timpul tău să vii.
That something in
We want to thank you that you
for our
came
time.
here and for your time. Thank you for your time because you came here to listen to the story once again.
she's heard this probably 50 or 60
Yeah.
times.
So 51 now. Thank you very much. It was a really
Nicio problemă.
Nicio problemă. It was a real pleasure to meet you.
I don't know how to say I've enjoyed this. I don't know how to say that.
A fost plăcerea mea.
A fost plăcerea mea.
Da, something like
So yeah,
And-
I know how to say bicicleta though.
Bicicletă. And maybe at some point you'll get back there to see how it changed.
Maybe.
It changed a lot.
I hope
To
that
good.
somehow you guys will find Virgil. He can see this and
Probably
say, hi
will.
Virgil. Life's
Probably
good
we
here.
will find him.
Virgil should have come. He was planning to immigrate to Canada, but they tried to immigrate to Montreal, and that's the hardest place to immigrate to. Because
Yeah.
let's go back. They're all jerks there.
And this to end up the video.
Papa.
Papa,
Okay.
tell me your email address from Romania.
Okay, when I left Romania, I created a special email address that I knew every time if I sent an email to Virgil, he would either laugh or get angry. And the email address was pula1016@yahoo.com. It was just for a day though.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that cold here yet.
There you go.
You live here. I mean, I've been 6 months living in Southeast Asia with 40 degrees. Now my body is still acclimating.
It's called smart.
Smart.
Go
Yeah.
pack somewhere warm.
So I mean, 2 weeks from now, you will probably not even see me because I might not ever come out of the house because I
like
won't
a
be
bear.
outside again
Hibernate.
until it reaches.
Ei, prieteni, și asta a fost interviul cu Rob, românul, care a stat în România tranziției, probabil cel mai proaste perioade ale României, exact în anii ăia, a nimănui. Probabil o să dureze mult până o să vedeți acest video pentru că trebuie tradus tot. Am vorbit mult mai mult decât mă așteptam, a fost mult mai deschis decât mă așteptam, multe povești și a zis că putem să mai vorbim încă, Dai seama, a fost interesant și pentru el și pentru noi să-l ascultăm. Noi suntem născuți, eu sunt născut în 91, deci nu știu cum era Ploiești în 94, nu știu cum e Ploiești nici acum, sincer. Dar chiar a fost interesant și cu asta închidem seria Canada, cu videoul ăsta se termină luna noastră prin Canada. Cred că a fost un video bun care să închidem această serie. Îți mulțumim, unchiul Vincent, că ai fost cu noi și astăzi.
Cu drag.
Și o să revenim, cu siguranță să revenim în Canada anul următor sau cel târziu în ălalt. Și ne vedem de pe aeroport către Paris. Pa!
Maybe a love like ours can lead out its cause.